I'm talking about the JJK manga, so if you're not caught up on a manga or you don't read the manga, get out. So the last JJK chapter just came out and a little controversial. They ended up finally bringing Nobara back, which unfortunately I didn't even find that out by reading the manga. I found it out probably like how 50% of people found out on Twitter. Bro, I remember like when Attack on Titan was wrapping up and manga leaks were crazy for that. And even with My Hero, how manga leaks were crazy for that. They don't even compare to the JJK fandom, bro. Like this tweet right here, this sums up the JJK experience. Life if JJK leaks didn't exist and we could experience the chapters as they drop. Somebody had even texted me. I was warned. They're like, yo, stay off Twitter. JJK leaks just came out. I was like, all right, I'll stay off Twitter until the next chapter drops. And I don't like reading manga leaks because the quality isn't there. There be pages missing sometimes and the translations are just, Bro, I swear they got Edward Snowden on the JJK leaks, bro. They got government level leakers for JJK. But GG. Yeah, so pause real quick. I pronounced this name GG for this whole video, but it's actually pronounced Gege. Yeah, sorry, big bro. Mr. Akutami. Hey, bro, some people upset at you. I think there's been a growing concern about JJK when it comes to Gigi, like executing certain ideas. Sometimes it feels like he's just like, yo, boom, gotcha, here's something else. And some people take it as bad writing. You then have people defending said writing by making, good points. For example, this tweet, but how is Nobara still alive after being injured like that? Read it! It was for sure mentioned that Nobara wasn't dead, but I think the execution on how Nobara was just brought back, I wouldn't personally say it's lazy, but it was like, dang, that's how you did it? Ah, yes, because one guy saying she might not be dead 150 chapters before her return makes everything fine. The only reason I think, the negative reception is a bit of an overreaction for this chapter is it's kind of consistent with GG's writing, in my opinion. I think JJK has been hyped up to this high level where people don't realize why it's at this high level. JJK isn't this intricate story that people make it out to be. GG has explained way more about the Six Eyes and Infinity, way more than Yuji's backstory. I know about so many techniques in this story more than I know about some characters. Megumi and Maki, which are side characters, are more fleshed out than the main character. Bro, the name of this junk is Jujutsu Kaisen. It translates to curse fight. There's not even an ounce of creativity in the name of this story. Curse fight. Jujutsu Kaisen just sound cool because it's in a different language. It got a certain swang to it. GG's focus has always been, how do I make a really cool series where the focus is really cool fights? And I don't even think that's a bad thing. I don't think you necessarily have to have intricate story of character to make a story that people care about. I think where people mess up is you put JJK on a certain level with other stories, and then when stuff like the last chapter happens, when it's not necessarily to a level of better written, fleshed out shonen, I think that's when a fandom sets it up for failure. And it all makes sense when you look at the focus of the manga versus the focus of the adaptation. I think if you started reading the manga and then watched the anime adaptation, this doesn't really resonate with you. But if you're like me and you watched the first season and the second season and then read the manga, you would see there's a stark difference between how the anime is executed and how the manga is executed. And what I mean by that is in the anime, especially season 2, there's way more of a focus on the evolution of certain characters. I think the way that they showed the descending into madness of Geto was done so nice. There's a focus thematically on the character. But then you read the manga, and to me, the manga is the direct reflection of the author, and the editor does come in and be like, yo, you gotta switch certain things up to make it more digestible for the audience. But for the most part, the manga is going to execute, bro, I've said execute so many times, but the manga is going to execute the vision of the mangaka, of the creator, a little more accurate than the anime will, because the anime has different directors and all that junk. That's why I would say that season 1 of the anime is a better adaptation than season 2. But I feel like season 2 is just way more digestible, way more enjoyable, and it just elevated what Jujutsu Kaisen is. Because when I go from season 2 and I read the manga, boy, so much that I don't care about. And the reason I'm making this point is because when you see how certain things are laid out, you can kind of get into the mind of the author on what they were trying to do. let's keep it a whole buck. When you compare the words to the plot of JJK, compare it to the word count of a technique in JJK, it doesn't even compare, bro. When GG is explaining a technique, he borderline is almost getting to Hunter x Hunter level of novel and panel. So when I see people react to this last chapter negatively, to me, this has been the same quality since the very beginning. JJK was never this amazing plot, well-written thing. The fights were awesome though. Like the stakes, despite not having that much character development, not to say that there's no character development, because that would just be wrong. Yuji obviously has some. The ability to make people care about your fights and still have that much stakes without even flushing out your characters is kind of amazing. It's like, how did you even do that? It makes me doubt myself when I'm like, these characters aren't fleshed out, but they really aren't, other than Maki and Megumi again. I will say though, when it comes to Nobara coming back, I do wish there was more brought up about her throughout the series. And that's kind of what I feel like is missing in JJK, is like, just because you reference something or you put something down in writing, it doesn't excuse the way that it comes out. We know that the blonde dude was like, yo, she could either be saved or she could not be saved. Don't get your hopes up. But you mean to tell me there's no hint towards Nobara's recovery? Barely any mention of Nobara. I think Itadori might have mentioned Nobara in the culling arc once, but nothing to the extent of her recovery. And then it just so happened that during Itadori's fight with Sukuna, she just magically comes back. I'm okay with like coincidences in anime. I let a lot of stuff slide, but reading that was like, bro, she just woke up 3 hours ago, about to say today, while Itadori is in a domain with Sukuna, right as Itadori needed her to come through with resonance. It did make me smile though. It did make me smile though when she was like, how's that for OPP? Like, I'm not mad at it, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, GG. All right. This tweet was funny. Somebody was like, Shoko forcing Nobara to join the fight as soon as she woke up from a coma. As soon as she woke up, bro. Oh, wait, I'm wrong. It wasn't even 3 hours. It was half an hour. You mean to tell me half an hour? She woke up half an hour ago and she was just like ready, bro. GG, bro. Someone said, from the bottom of my heart, if Gojo comes back, I'm done talking about JJK. At this point, I wouldn't even be surprised if GG did that. I low-key feel like the fandom cares more about Jujutsu Kaisen than GG does. I just feel like bro was just trying to make a show about curse fighting. like all this other stuff, I really don't think GG cares about it. Someone says, were we meant to believe Nobara was dead while overlooking the obvious tips that she'd come back? She came back with an important role, and from the beginning we knew that there was a chance of saving her. It was anything but an ass pull. She just got sidelined for so long. Like, it was way too long for her to be sidelined. I genuinely believe that if he would have brought her back way earlier and just put her out of commission and they just made a plan up with Nobara with the whole other jujutsu tech, like, yo, in case this happens, Nobara, I know you're recovering, but try to use resonance just in case, you know, we get to the worst thing imaginable. I genuinely think that would have been a better way to have her back than just her coming back when an eye patch talk about some, yo, I'm back. I'm just glad on what he did with Maki. I always told myself, like, if GG holds Maki, I'm dropping it instantly. I love, you know, Maki's whole development as a character. I think Maki is so cool. She might be in my top 5 like coolest anime characters. She's so dope. GG bringing back Nobara when Kagurabachi is about to hit a 1-year anniversary. People who be desperate for attention. MHA fans spinning back at JJK fans after they slander their ending for 2 weeks straight. I'm not gonna lie though, bro. Since my hero wasn't what I thought it was going to be, which was, yo, we just entered this hero school. We're gonna go from this grade to this grade to this grade, and we're gonna learn how to be better heroes until we become pro. Since the academia part kind of got taken out of it a little early, that's a story that could have benefited from being as short as a JJK. I think think the length in these shows should be flipped. I think JJK needs way more time and more than 5 chapters to finish this story. And I feel like My Hero, it could have been condensed. It really could have. Pretending I don't give a fuck about JJK ending soon, but finding out it's actually ending in 5 chapters just ruined my day. Yeah, I was really confused. And I said it earlier, that's kind of why I'm so locked in on this belief. I really think GG does not like this story of JJK. Not that he doesn't like it. I don't think he cares for the story as much as a lot of the fans do. How many manga have GG created? If he like announces a new manga that he's working on like a couple months after, then that's when I'll be like, yeah, okay, he's got a couple more things out. Number 9, a one shot, kind of looks like Inumaki and Yuta put together. GG, I will end JJK in 5 chapters. Hikari and Urame, bro. Dude, that's why I think this needs more than 5 chapters. There are so many things that have been left closed. This Hikari and Urame fight, if it's not the best thing ever, the audience reaction will be, that was it? Like if Hikari just does the domain, it's like, yo, this is the ultimate gamble, and like both of them die while like hugging each other, like, oh, this was our Jujutsu Kaisen. You know, I'm not having it. I am having it. I'm gonna be there next week. Liking every JJK slander tweets today. How miserable could you be? I know I've been like kind of slandering JJK throughout this, but I enjoy JJK for what it is, but I can also recognize the faults. I think this perfectly sums up JJK for the world these past years. Hate me or love me, you watched. Facts. I can't wait till season 3 comes out. Oh, Culling Games animated is going to be so dope. What arc do I like better though between the Culling and the Shibuya arc? I think Shibuya arc was just so real. I do think Shibuya arc is JJK's peak, but again, that also might be because I like how they directed, and I just like the experience of JJK season 2. I believe the same director for season 2 of JJK is gonna do season 3 too, so Gojo versus Sukuna was really cool, but like when it ended, it was like, dang, Gojo's dead? Dang. Bro got one panel of him being cut in half. Probably the worst trio in modern shonen history. It takes a whole series for them to show their bag. 2 of those bags were showcased by someone else. When I first watched JJK, it just felt so nostalgic and refreshing at the same time because there was clearly influence from the other big 3 when it came to their trio. Nobara felt so cool. And now look, Gigi Akutami showing up next week by bringing back Gojo, Yuta, Junpei. Bringing back Junpei would be such nasty work. Imagine Urame and Hikari are fighting and Junpei pops up. Junpei pops up like,
you thought it was over.
Ugh, bro, that would be nasty work. I think GG should actually bring back Junpei. After getting all caught up with JJK and seeing how it's been downhill after Shibuya incident, I think being this negative about JJK is a bit of an overreaction because it's not that far off from the quality of writing that JJK has been. I don't think Nobara coming back breaks this show. But if Gojo does come back, Gojo comes back, that'll be way worse than Nobara waking up. I will say that. What do y'all think about JJK, man? I know I was yapping for a long time here, but I'm still there. The one thing that's ruining JJK is not even Gigi Akutami, it's the freaking leakers, bro. Like, not even the leakers, but to find a leak, read it, and post it on Twitter like, oh my god, this happened, it just ruins the enjoyment for people who are waiting for the high quality official releases to come out. I don't want to read a leak that's cam quality on paperback. So I will end it with this meme once again. Life if JJK leaks didn't exist and we can experience the chapters right as they drop. JJK is now dismissed until whenever this chapter comes out.